Ruth McCrackin and Trasetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Great day, great day. Hello, beautiful people. Hey, girl. Hey, Trasetta. How are you?
I'm
Oh, my
doing
gosh.
fantastic. It's a beautiful day as always in the
It
Sunshine State.
is. It is definitely a sunshine state. And Lord, 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 I'm really excited. I know you and I have been talking in the back of the scenes, but before we even go into that, because we just get so so just connected in the synergy. Listen, if you all are just coming in and you're probably just wondering where we at, but before you do that, we got so much in breaking boundaries today that you do not want to miss it and you do not want to be here alone. Go ahead and click like and share. Bring some of your compadres, your friends, your peers, your work hubby, your work wife. I don't care how you want to define or describe yourself. Just definitely grab a seat and grab your digital devices, maybe perhaps your pen and paper or your iPads. It doesn't matter. We're about to unfold. Listen, breaking boundaries today because we're doing a series, and if you all are just following us and you're just catching up, you may even want to go back to Unleashing Brilliance. But we have some amazing, great news, huh, Trasetta? What do we have to share with the people? Because we
Absolutely.
want them to still kind of stay on board and on target. Because I'm really elated and I'm so ever grateful at the same time.
Listen, we are super excited. Last week we announced our upcoming event, Balance and Brilliance, the Balance and Brilliance workshop that we're hosting in sunny Tampa, Florida. So if you are in the
Yes.
Tampa Bay area, surrounding areas, or hey, if you live anywhere in the US and you want to join us, we want to invite you to come in Saturday, September 30th from 10 to 1. We will be hosting the Balance and Brilliance workshop, career goal setting for high achievers just
Come
like
on.
you. I promise you, this is going to be a transformative workshop that's going to equip you with the
Yes.
strategies and insights that you need to navigate all the complexities of your career journey. Tickets went on sale on Monday, and let me tell you, they are going fast. So you definitely want to make sure that you can get your ticket if you're thinking about it because space is
Mm-hmm.
limited. This is a very intimate setting that we're going to be
Indeed, it is.
hosting. Yes,
Absolutely.
it's very intimate.
Hmm.
And some of the things we're going to talk about is unleashing your full potential, mastering time and priorities, strategies for managing expectations, and how you can climb that ladder with confidence. So,
Hmm. I love it.
Saturday, September 30th, you definitely want to get your ticket. The link to the Eventbrite event is in the caption. So,
It's
head over
somewhere. Yeah, we
there.
have it. We'll have it somewhere on there. If it's not, it's going to
Yes,
be in the comments. It's going to be somewhere where you can
yes.
easily click on it and then grab your seat. Now, I may forewarn you, it may already be filled up, but that's okay. Maybe you just want to go ahead and say, Ruth, how do we want to maybe have a room at the table? Just go ahead and just comment below if there's maybe any issues or any limitations that you may come across. Let us know, and we'll see what we can do to kind of help with. It is a small, intimate setting. We may
Yeah.
have to just pre-plan it for next time. I just want you to know the first come, first serve. And I definitely would love to have you to have a seat at the table. It's always wonderful to see you all in the comments, but wouldn't it be worth it to see us in live in person where I'm a huggy person and we
Yeah.
get to see you and we have the synergy, we have the whole energy coming together and just really hearing you all because we see you and we hear you. Like when you're going to have an event, when we're going to have a networking where we can actually have a masterminding where we come together and just dig in our brains so you can start overcoming some of these opportunities where you're wanting to have that unleashing of your brilliance and then having peace of mind with working with high performers like you all and having on the sideline us as your coaches, your experts. So enough of that. Let's talk about what we're going to be really unfolding today. Trasetta, listen, when it comes to part two of the breaking boundaries, when we were laying out the fruit of the land behind the scenes, everyone. And we had it as always. We had our structure, our
Agenda.
agenda already set out. However, us humans, we do get led. We do get because we hear from you and constant times when it comes to unleashing brilliance, when it comes to work life harmony, balancing career pursuits and personal well-being. I sat here with Trasetta, right? We sat here saying, listen, that all sounds great, but what happens when the unexpected happens? What happens when things start to unfold while you're in the grooves of wanting to pursue your goal, wanting to pursue happiness, wanting to excel and accelerate, and then boom, you get a phone call, or then unexpected, like some of the people that many people that I talk to, where they're being called into the HR conference room. How many of you all can relate? Let us know in the comments that you're about to really want to unfold that this is me too. This is what I've been going through. Unexpected. How do I manage that? If you're
Yeah.
finding this to be valuable, let us know that you're wanting to listen to, because you want to go ahead and continue to hang out with us for the next 20 minutes or so, because we're going to unleash on how to balance that. Because I'm going to let you start with that, because to be true that this is something that is not going to go anywhere. And I know it's going to be
No.
bittersweet. It might be kind of hitting the core a different way, maybe like how you be in the gym with your private trainer. They may start to hit certain areas that's going to hurt. But at the end of the day, you're going to walk away winning and feeling more rejuvenated, more revived. It's almost having like a revival, a crusade with yourself, that life is going to continue to unfold the unexpected. Is the question is, how are you going to manage it, and when do you know what to do when it does happen? Because sometimes we don't have a, let's be honest, we don't have a cheat sheet or a manual.
No, no. It's so funny. I was having a conversation yesterday with my business coach, with April, and we were talking about how 2023 is like 2020 all over again, but just from a different perspective.
Wow.
You know,
Yes.
2020, we were just getting sucker punched with so many different things externally,
Crazy.
right? Um,
Yes.
and it was like one thing after another. I feel like 2023 has been the same way, but more on a personal level than
Mm.
it has been. You know, yeah, there's been some really crazy stuff still happening in 2023 externally, but I feel like
Yeah.
and the people that I'm my clients and the people that I'm doing consultation calls with are experiencing this as well. So not
A
only is it all of
thousand
the like
percent.
the national and world
Yeah.
situations happening, but we're getting hit left and right in our personal lives.
Yeah.
And I was reminded when Ruth and I were kind of talking about shifting
Yes.
what we were talking about today. I was reminded of a time or the specific situation that was the catalyst for me stepping into the work that I'm doing right now and the life that I'm living right now.
Oh my gosh. Let's
And
let's unfold that. Yes. Talk to these people, because they need to know that it's not just them. They're not alone in
right,
this.
right.
Yeah.
So, I had let's go back to 2014. Life was good. I had a good life. I was happily married. I loved my job. I was, I was killing it. But things were, for me personally,
Yeah.
right? All these external things were good, but for me internally, I was just kind of like, meh. Like life was okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
but it was okay. And I had made some plans. I was a non-traditional student, so I was preparing to graduate with my bachelor's degree. And I was like, I'm going to take 2 weeks off, and then I'm going to start studying for the GMAT because I wanted to get my MBA.
That was part of
And
your roadmap, your career goals,
yes,
like how we were
that was
talking
part of
about
my
you.
plan.
Yes, it's part of your
That was
plan.
that
Yeah.
was part of my plan and my
Yes.
timeline, right? It was my timeline.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can study for the GMAT, take that, and be ready to go to school come spring,
Yeah.
right? Come spring of 2015. Well, no. Life hit me with some unexpected news.
Mm.
Right at the end of that 2 week period of my break, I received a call from my doctor's office that my biopsy results came back positive for breast cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
And nobody wants to get that news.
Oh my
But one of the
gosh.
things that I could say is that was the best, worst thing that ever happened to me. Anybody be
And
like,
we're
what
gonna
do you mean
drive
by
this home. How many of you all in the comments can share when you get unexpected news? How do you manage that with what
that?
you saw to be your red carpet of your career path, and all of a sudden you get a phone call? What happened? Let's let the people know what did you do to shift, or did you stay and kind of just gave up and throw in the towels, or because that's
Well,
devastating. No one doesn't want to
honestly,
get that. Yeah,
I broke down, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's natural. That's human. That's
yeah,
human for us to have the emotions that you feel when you get news, when you
yes,
get a diagnosis, when you get a pink slip, when
yeah.
you get served with divorce papers, when you get when a
Come through,
child
come
gets
through.
injured,
Let's
or
let's let's keep
you
it.
lose a child, when you
Yes,
get unexpected news and the emotions show up, you are human.
yes,
I allowed myself to feel all those
yes.
feelings. I gave
Mm,
space for that. But then
yeah,
once the dust kind of settled, then I had to regroup
yes,
and reprioritize what I what my plan looked like, because there was no way I was going to be able to study for a college entrance exam while I was dealing with having to go through multiple surgeries and heal and work full time. There was no way I could do that. Right. So I
right,
had to
right.
adjust my expectations of
You hear
my
what
time.
now? You hear what did I just hear you say? Adjust, not
Yeah.
remove or just give up or just find yourself depleting and just throwing in the towel.
No.
You gave yourself space to do the grieving because it matters. Like you said, we're human, and it's giving yourself permission to just allow yourself to go through that grieving time. Who can
Yes.
agree? It's now
Absolutely.
once you find yourself back in sort of a balancing moment where, okay, I'm still in this reality. I'm not dead yet. I still got a heartbeat. I still got a pulse. You now made a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to, like I said, I had to make some adjustments to my plan and shift my
Mm,
focus to what my priorities shifted, right? Because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
school was no longer my primary focus. My
yeah.
health became my primary focus.
Mm,
And
yes,
and I was okay with that, right? Because that is what was most important at the time. One of the
yes,
things that I consistently um, teach and go over with my clients is to reevaluate your priorities on a regular basis.
yes. It's important. It's
Sometimes you need
vital.
to adjust.
Yeah,
Sometimes opportunities that you didn't expect. It doesn't always have to be a tragedy. It could be a good opportunity that
yeah,
comes along that shifts
yes.
your plan where you need
I
to
love
adjust
how
it.
you said that. It doesn't necessarily it has to be something so detrimental to the point where it may be an impact to your health, but it still could be an impact to your health is on how you receive that good news. Some people don't think they feel worthy. They may feel guilty, like, oh my gosh, I got a good opportunity now. How do I shift and receive? Am I ready for it? I love how
Right.
you mentioned that. It's not always got to be something that you could look at as being good, or I mean bad or unexpected or dark, however you want to describe it.
Yeah.
But what about when something good comes in? Like maybe a
Right.
new baby, or you're maybe having a new addition to your family fold, and like you
Fall
said,
in love, right? Maybe
yes,
you
you
meet
fall in
someone and
love.
fall in
Yeah,
love, or
yeah,
you get this amazing opportunity
yeah,
that that you can't pass up, but the job just happens to be in another state or another country
yeah,
or another city, whatever the case may be. It doesn't always have to be something bad, but you want to
hmm,
leave room. Let's not be so rigid with our
yeah.
plans that
Okay,
we
okay,
miss out on some of the things, some of the lessons, some of the opportunities,
yeah,
and some of the beauty of what life can offer us. And so that was, so first I felt the feelings, then I made some adjustments to my expectation. I also gave myself grace in that time period while I was going through my treatment and having to adjust to my new normal. I gave myself grace because some days I didn't feel good.
now did you do
Some
that
days I
alone, or did you what when did you come to a point where I need to give myself grace? Was it maybe self-reflection, or maybe talking it out loud to a mentor or a guidance? Kind of let these people know on the behind the scenes as you're going through giving yourself this realization and prioritization. How did you kind of go through that process?
Well, one thing for sure is I was very intentional with who I shared the news with, right? So I
Yeah,
didn't just
yeah.
go telling people what was everyone and anybody what was going on with me. Only
Mhm.
key persons knew what was happening, people that I knew I could trust, people who I knew that I could, if I was feeling down, they were going to help lift me up. Right. So you
Yes.
want to, you
That's
want to
it's
guard
important.
yourself from the attack
Yes.
of people who aren't necessarily for you. Right. And
I
though
like
we're
that.
talking about a health situation for me, it could be a career situation for you, right?
Yes.
It could be a life, a personal relationship situation. It doesn't matter. You
It
want
could
to
be a
be
layoff a lot, because we
right.
are in a day and time where a lot of people are not anticipating their company to do a full shift, where they happen to be the one that got impacted with
Right.
a layoff or being terminated. Who can relate in the comments? Let us know in the comments that, listen, it comes, the basket of news comes in a variety. It doesn't always
It
come
does.
in, beautiful roses and or red daisy at times. It does come to where it can be daunting, it can be emotional, and it can be health impact psychologically as well.
Right.
So, the question we want to help you all unfold here is, how do we overcome some of these challenges? Because they're not going to go anywhere. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Life tomorrow could be something different. Life in maybe in 2024 could then bring in a whole unexpected way of managing the unexpected. No, oh, no, I'm sorry. Another way of bringing on the unexpected is, the question is, how do you manage, and how do you say, okay, it's just a different set of tools that I need to now maybe articulate on how to balance, versus, oh my gosh, another wave of storm coming my way, and finding yourself right back at the bench. Let us know in the comments that you no longer want to be the one to be controlled by something that you have handle in, when it comes to poor making decisions on just because of how you maybe received a response or a breaking news. How do you then not attack it, but embrace it? And
Mhm.
what's the intention about the embracing? Does it now allow you to see yourself differently? Do you find it to where maybe I need to start taking time out and managing what ways maybe I prioritize? I love the fact that Trasetta said I was intentional on who I addressed and who I brought it with. It could be maybe someone that specializes in this area. It could be where maybe you're talking more to the the health experts on what do others maybe go through when they may be having some heart issues or emotional or anything that maybe an expert can help you. Just know to be true. Can you do this on your own? The question you want to ask yourself is, I would behoove you to think that the power of one more, you're going to hear me say this quite often, is better than you doing it by yourself, especially
Yeah.
if they specialize in a lot, giving you the grace to start looking at it in a different outlook. Because I got to tell you, having a layoff isn't easy. I too have been in that over 16 years ago. And then if I look back, even though I am operating my own business, other events still do happen to this
Right.
day. It's just, what do you do to help keeping the harmony between your work and your life?
Yeah. And it all really, it really begins with your mindset. We talk a ton
Yes.
about mindset on breaking
Yeah.
boundaries
Yes.
and,
Yes.
starting to really recognize that it's just the unexpected is just part of the process. It's going to, you're
Part of the
going to
process.
experience road bumps or
Yes.
speed bumps. You're going to experience roadblocks. You're going to
Yes.
experience setbacks. It's just a part of life. If you haven't experienced any yet, just keep living. I promise you, eventually you're going to find yourself
Oh
in
my
a
gosh.
situation where you're experiencing that.
Yeah.
And how you approach it, the way that you think about it
Yeah.
is key. One of the major shifts that I made um, over the years in dealing with the unexpected is shifting my mind from things happening to me versus things happening for me.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
right? So
Yeah.
when we think, oh, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Then we play the victim.
That's
Then we're
it.
the victim. We're giving someone else or something else control over our lives.
That
However,
is so important that you said that.
yes,
When you now say, well, why is this happening to me? Why now? After all I've been through already, now this is coming on top of it. So how many, let us know in the comments that you can relate and understand where we're driving in on why, instead of saying, why is this happening to you? I love that you mentioned that, Trasetta. What can we do to shifting? Again, it's a mindset
yes,
where the winning the war in the mindset, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it can be a full job by itself, because this is we live in a life called earth, that's part of our life, and we are surrounded by all these beautiful people, and at the same token, we don't control certain things that happen, whether it be in politics, whether it be in the healthcare, whether it be just the fact that the gas or the real estate, the market. How do you continue to drive without having to think that it's happening to me because it's just me? I'm the one that's causing this whole storm to happen. Why is this happening to me? Because I'm not good enough. I'm not great enough. I'm just not that person. All this is I. And I love the fact that you mentioned that. Let's shift and let's give some lighting as to how do you overcome that? How do you then say, you know what? It's just another chapter. It's just another event, and I'm gonna be able to continue to surpass because I've seen worse. It can't get worse than this. Because now you're now shifting, and you see how you look at the importance of striving away from being that victim mindset to now taking the fact that things do come and things will go. It's just how do you sustain your sanity through that process? Yeah.
mhm, yeah. So it's you really need to shift from that
Yeah.
victim mentality into, okay,
Mm.
how can I turn this scenario into me being the victor, right? What
Yes.
areas, yes, excuse the language, but yes, it's shitty that that happened to you, but what can I control in this scenario? I can control my
Mhm.
attitude towards it. Um,
You're damn
I
right.
like, in my particular case, I was in control of the treatment plan. I was given options and
Yeah.
I was the one who made the decision which option was
Yes.
going to be best for me and the life that I desired,
Okay.
and the future that I wanted.
Yeah.
Right. So rather than focusing on the things that you cannot control, shift your focus to the things you can control. And that is how you shift your mind into, okay, well, I can't do anything about that, but I can do something about this. And I get
Yes.
to take command, I get to take control. Therefore, I can now become the victor in this situation and create basically take these lemons that I've been handed and make some
Yes.
lemonade or make some lemon meringue pie or whatever else lemon some lemon bars,
Yeah.
right?
And
Repurpose
then
it.
I like that because remember the movie Sixth Senses when you walked in and he just ignored all the signs in his path. So oftentimes we're just going through life and we're just ignoring all the
Yes.
signals, the clues, and the signs that brought us to where we are today. Now you want to look at it as though I'm going to pay attention more. I'm going to realize that maybe certain things you could have probably prevented, and there's certain things you can't prevent. But the things that you cannot prevent, how can you now see yourself handling that or maintaining your mindset, maintaining just having peace of mind? And I want to. I know we talk about this a lot, Trasetta, when we talk about journaling, when we talk about self care. How do we frame certain practices to work in our favor? Because by the time we do face certain life events or situations, maybe one day your partner may wake up and say, "I no longer want to be with you. I've been seeing somebody else, and you're not part of the picture anymore. You're just not part of the picture anymore." And yeah, it's gonna hurt. I'm not saying don't grieve. We're not. That's not what the path that we're creating for you. We're just basically allowing you the permission on how do you handle and overcome certain incidents that may come that you don't have control of. And I know we're kind of re-emphasizing it because it makes me so grieve inside when I talk to so many high talent performers on an ongoing basis, and they're getting the pink slip, and they're being told that they may have to demote themselves, or they may just be forced to resign because they no longer want to be part of an environment that doesn't see the people, that doesn't keep the humanitarian in mind on how do we lay it out gracefully without having to psychologically impact them, or even health wise impact them. Yes, you are running a business. Yes, we're running a country. But at the end of the day, we're nothing without the individual. We're nothing without the people. So how do we keep us in mind? How do we not make this all about a transactional situation
Yeah.
without allowing us to holistically know that we need to live with one another? We need to be able to sustain that we all are a unit, whether we like it or not, whether we love it or like it. That's not the main key here. Is how do
Yeah.
we still make this ship soar? Yes.
Yeah. There's three things that I want to really encourage you all to do when you experience, right, when life starts to happen, right, because
Yes.
it's unavoidable, it's going to happen, things are going to happen that you don't expect. One is to allow yourself to feel the feelings, right?
Yes. I
Don't
like
try
that.
and sweep them under the rug. Don't try and pretend like everything is okay. Allow yourself time to feel the feelings, because if you give yourself the space to do that, then the emotions move through you much more quickly than if you just try to squish them down. Number two,
Yes.
I want you to understand and know that you are not alone. You are not alone in that experience. You're not the only
Mm,
one. You're not the first one. You won't be the last one to have that experience. There is
that's
nothing
it.
new under the sun. There are so many people who have experienced the things that you're going through, the tragedy
Yes.
or opportunity that you're experiencing. So while we have a tendency to think that we are unique, and that we're the only ones, you are not alone. That is one of the tricks of the enemy, is to isolate you and make you feel like you are alone. You are not. So talk to someone, leverage your support community, have a
Yes.
conversation with someone else. And I promise you, your path will be guided to the right person to have the conversation with, where they
Yes.
can then turn around and, just like I share with you my breast cancer journey, they will share with
Yeah.
you a similar situation to what you're going through, and how they got through and how they got over, to encourage you to keep going, so that you know that if someone else did it, you can do it too. And the
Oh,
third one is
unbelievable. Yes.
to keep moving forward. Just
Absolutely.
because you may have to stretch out your deadline, just because you may have to make some adjustments, that does
Yes.
not, I am not giving you permission to throw in the towel. I am not
Come
giving you
on. That's
permission
it.
to sit on the sidelines. I
That's
am
it.
not giving you permission to stay stuck in a place of self-pity. What I am encouraging you to do is, though you may not be able to move with the speed at which you originally intended to, the
Yeah.
key
Yeah.
here is to keep moving.
Just keep
Employ the
pushing.
concept of Kaizen, teeny
Mm.
tiny steps in the
Yes.
right direction, right? So maybe you can't run, maybe you can't even walk, maybe you need to crawl.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to crawl. Maybe you need to just inch. Do one
Yeah.
teeny tiny thing every single day that still moves you in the direction of the thing that you desire. Whatever you
I love
do,
it.
don't give up. Don't allow yourself to stay stuck. Keep moving forward.
I love it. I love it. This is really great and powerful. Let us know in the comments. Has this been extraordinarily helpful for you? Because it matters to us that you don't find yourself kind of going downstream when scenarios are occurring, life happens, and maybe you have a loss in the family, or perhaps a loss in your role in a really great company that you thought you were striving and soaring in, and did not see this coming. Now you're being put in a position where you're now becoming more aware. You're now wanting to leverage your community. You even want to say, I'm going to give time to self and do some self revelation, some self care. Just extending yourself out there without having to think that it's because of me. That is why it occurred. It's because I don't have this in my accolades. It's because maybe I'm too old, or maybe I just don't have enough experience, or or if you maybe not going through, like Trasetta said earlier, you may not be going through anything. But the fact that you know that the life that we live does not discriminate. Life comes in and it does go in different angles, and it just be like, oh wow, I didn't think this was going to happen to me, but okay, now that it did, let's go ahead, like Trasetta mentioned, let's give self space to do that. I love that we mentioned that. And we also talked about, extending yourself out to reaching out to help, being able to go back and not delay your process, but maybe what you may delay your process, but not neglect and ignore whatever that emotion or whatever that situation that you're going through, by giving that space and giving time to that. Now, according to you might think, well, Ruth, it's easier said than done, but what do you do when it feels so hurtful? It's just, I've never gone through this experience. We said it before. Do not do this alone. Get with an expert, get with a coach, get with someone, a mentor. Ask the right questions. Let us know in the comments if you're wanting to know that what direction do I go when it comes to evolve. Because I know we had a whole different agenda, but it was like Trasetta mentioned, it was pressed upon us because we hear a lot of your stories. And listen, you're not alone. We have had the same scenarios, if not similar, when it comes to just managing the unexpected. Let us know in the comments that this is helpful for you all, because we are super excited to even bring you off the virtual world to coming in and having a seat at a table in our live event, when we want to take you from take you from being unrecognized and leveraging your brilliance, and then balancing it out with your life and in your career. Because it matters to us that you have some strategy in place. It matters to us that you get to network. You get to actually do a full live workshop here in Tampa Bay surrounding areas. You want to come in. Now, I know if I go back and you say, Ruth, gosh, it says I can't get it. Listen, we've been very clear with our announcement because it matters to us. We're even sharing it. Actually, we shared it with you all before we even shared it with our private communities. By this time, our community is already being known. So I don't know if we have any more seats. What you think, Trasetta? I don't know, but it's okay.
I haven't looked today, but I will say this: we did because of the place that we wanted to have an intimate setting to begin with, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But because of the place where we are hosting the event, we limited the tickets to a certain number. But we can, if you're interested, if you can't get a seat, if it's sold out and you can't get a seat, do send us a private message or comment. We can open up like 2, maybe 3 more seats. Maybe. And then the building is at capacity, right?
Yes.
So
and that's all full transparency.
Or someone may need to, if someone has an emergency, we may be able to offer an opportunity for you to join us live. So,
but don't hesitate. Don't stay on the fence. Let's go ahead. Listen, it's always a joy to have you all come on here, because it matters to us that breaking boundaries, we want to just release you from putting all this limitation. Have you all had a good old time that we've had this almost like a revival moment where you're going into the clinic and just getting some healing, unleashing some of the limitations when it comes to just life events may happen, and that's all right. Let's go ahead and put space to that, and let's go ahead and get back into our pathway, or maybe perhaps creating a new pathway, shifting your trajectory. It's been a joy as always. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, continue to follow us. If you haven't been following us, you may want to go back and even go back to our listings of other replays that may resonate with you all, that may shift the way you're thinking and feeling, to now elevate and start shifting some of these rules and breaking some of these boundaries. Yes or yes? Well, have an amazing day, everyone. Until next time.
Bye for now.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCrackin and business strategist Trasetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.